Okay, welcome to day 2 of Unit 6. Today we're going to be learning about synthetic division. It's a lot like our long division we were doing yesterday, but it's simpler, takes less work. Basically what you're going to do is if you have a polynomial, your coefficients are a, b, c, and d, you're going to write those in a row across. If you're trying to divide this by a linear factor of x minus some constant k, you then put the value of k with the opposite sign. So in this case, if it's x minus k, we'll put a positive k to the left. We are then going to go through and divide this. And we're going to actually go through an example. So coming down below here, we've got our example of x to the fourth minus 10x squared minus 2x plus 4 divided by x plus 3. So our coefficients here, coefficient of x to the fourth is a 1. We don't have an x to the third term, so the coefficient of that is 0. Coefficient of the x squared term is negative 10. Coefficient of x is negative 2. And our constant is 4. So we write those across in a line. And we're dividing by x plus 3. So the opposite sign is going to be a negative 3. We put that to the left. And now we're going to simply go through and do the synthetic division. And to do this, we bring down our first term, the 1. And we take this term and multiply by what's at the left. So negative 3 times 1, and put the result in the diagonal above it. So negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And now we add these two terms that are in line. 0 plus a negative 3 gives you negative 3. Again, we multiply by what's on the left. Negative 3 times negative 3 gives us a positive 9. And we add that with the value above it. So negative 10 plus 9 gives us a negative 1. Write that down below. And again, we take this now and multiply by what's on the left. Negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. Add the terms in the column. So negative 2 plus 3 gives us a positive 1. And now we multiply one last time. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And add in the column. 4 plus a negative 3 is a 1. And now we go through and fill in our x values. So we started out with an x to the fourth. So our new quotient, these are the coefficients. This last one is our remainder. The power is going to be 1 less than what you started with. We start with x to the fourth, so our quotient is x to the third minus 3x squared minus 1x plus 1. And remember, this last one is our remainder, so plus 1, we put it over x plus 3, which is the factor we were dividing by. So when you have x to the fourth minus 10x squared minus 2x plus 4 and divide by x plus 3, here is your result. And you do not have to write the ones in front of the x's. I'm just doing that to show you where they came from. So let's take a look at some examples. Okay, so we're going to divide by x minus 5. So again, we're going to take the opposite sign, so that's a positive 5. And now we're going to write the coefficients and using 0 as a placeholder if we're missing anything. So we start with a 2, 4, negative 6, and a positive 4. Bring down that first term, gives us a 2, and multiply by what's on the left. 5 times 2 is 10. Place that in the diagonal, and then add the column. 4 plus 10 gives you 14. 5 times 14, gives you 70. We'll put that up above. Add in the column. Negative 6 plus 70 gives you 64. Multiply by 5 again. That gives you positive 320. And add your column for 324. And again, these are the coefficients plus the remainder here. So if we were to write what we get when we divide this polynomial by x minus 5, we get 2x to the second power, because it's 1 less than we started with, plus 14x plus 64 plus a big remainder of 324 divided by x minus 5. Okay, so far we've had remainders on both problems we've looked at. And occasionally we will get some that have a remainder of 0. And if there's no remainder, then what we've essentially done is factor our problem. So let's take a look here. We're going to divide by x plus 1. So again, we put the opposite sign outside our dividing box. And we put in our coefficients, making sure we put in a 0 for any term that is missing. So our x cubed term, coefficient is 4. X squared term, coefficient is negative 32. Now our x term, notice there is none. So the coefficient is 0 for that one. And then our constant was 36. So it is very important you put in that placeholder. And now we go through the same process, bringing down the first term and then multiplying by what's on the left. So 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Add these and we get negative 32. Negative 36. Multiply, negative 1 times negative 36 is positive 36. Add those, 0 plus 36, we have 36. Multiply by negative 1, we get negative 36. When we add these together, we get 0. So that gives us a remainder of 0, which means that our factor of x plus 1 went in evenly. So our polynomial of 4x cubed minus 32x squared plus 36 has two factors. One of them is x plus 1. The second is what we got right here, 4x squared minus 36x plus 36. These are the two factors of this term. Now if we could break this down further into when we factor it, we would. And at this point it looks like we could factor a 4 out. So let's just go ahead and do that to see if it's possible to factor further. Here we have x squared minus 9x plus 9 when you factor out the 4. And it doesn't look like we can factor that any further.